Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross.
Hi, hello, hey, hi.
I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes.
Hi everyone, Nicola here, and I'm out on the balcony as usual, and this week's been a really nice week in Greece. We've been to a Monday afternoon party, which was a little bit different, but the weather forecast was better on Monday than Tuesday, so our hosts decided to have it on Monday, and we all traipsed up through the olive grove to a very beautiful new house to warm that house up, and it was just an amazing evening, incredible weather, great sunset, incredible sunsets out here at the moment. And yeah, we just had a lovely time. I've also been to my creative writing group this week, and we've all decided we meet once every fortnight, and we've decided that on the other fortnight we're going to get together for what's called a writing retreat, which is where we're going to turn up and all hold each other accountable to achieve the goals we set at the beginning of the day. So even on my hobbies, you see, I like them to be nice and regulated and structured, and that means that you actually get things done. I put the Greek lessons on hold, talking of hobbies, just for a little while because my brain was a bit overloaded. I've been learning how to use UTM links in Google, and also how to use Facebook Messenger bots. And all of that learning was making my brain feel like it was going to explode, so trying to learn Greek on top of that. And what is that aeroplane noise? So yes, all of that on top of learning Greek was all just a little bit too much. So it's been a great week. I'm having a great time. The weather's fantastic, and a friend, Suzanne Jorgensen, is arriving from England soon. She's American, but she's living in Bristol, the Bristol area at the moment, and she's coming out here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how someone who's never been here before reacts to the whole thing, from picking her up at the airport, driving her up the windy mountain roads till we get to our lovely little village, and I'm hoping she's going to like it. So looking forward to seeing you, Suzanne. We're looking forward to that a lot. And just to let you know that big news at the moment is that LinkedIn has opened up its own video platform. So if you are already sharing your videos onto your Facebook page and onto your YouTube channel, you really need to think about uploading them natively now to LinkedIn. I started doing that this week for one of my clients, Kate, who's in the Be Everywhere Online 12-week challenge, and within 2 hours of her first video going onto LinkedIn, she'd had an inquiry about being interviewed on one of the biggest podcasts about podcasts, the global massive reach for this company. So she was absolutely thrilled with that result. And she's also she's had other speaking engagements and all sorts of inquiries coming in. So she's really thrilled with the way the Be Everywhere Online 12-week challenge is going for her. So go and get your videos onto LinkedIn, people. It'll be well worth your time, and it only takes a few minutes because it's super fast. This week I want to talk to you about sharpening the saw. Sharpening the Saw is one of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and when I read that book it made a major change and difference to my life. So I do encourage you to go and read it, or listen to it on Audible in fact. So what do we mean by sharpening the saw? It's the fact that you can't do output, which is what you need to do to make a business work. You only make money when you create output, but sometimes you have to stop and you have to get inspired yourself. You have to take some input to nurture your soul and give you inspiration and give you ideas for what else you can do in your business. And I wanted to share some of my things I turn to for inspiration. One of the first people that inspired me was a gentleman called Rich Sheffrin, and there'd been lots of gurus around up until that point, but there was something about Rich that just completely resonated with me, and you can find him at strategicprofits.com. And I got work with him. I bought his courses, worked with him virtually for a long time, and ended up going to spend a weekend in Delray Beach and worked with Rich one-to-one and in a small group of people, and it was absolutely a life transforming experience. So he's definitely number one up there on my list of inspirational people. And of course, listening to one of his podcasts, I came across Gary Vaynerchuk, who you've heard me mention many, many times, and who really does inspire me. I still, if I need a little psychological pick you up in the morning before I start work, I always go and watch some of Gary V's videos. He's got the Ask Gary V show, which I really enjoy, which is where he takes questions usually from the audience and he just goes off into helping people directly on the phone. And there's also the Daily V show, which is where it's just a video, filming him. D-Rock follows him around with a camera and just films his day, and I find that very inspirational too, because he often goes into little sort of mini rants in the airport, on the plane, and in taxis and cars and things. So that's well worth watching. Early last year I got into Casey Neistat. Now Casey's a bit of a different beast because he's a filmmaker, so he started doing a daily vlog, but it was done very, very well indeed, and it really inspired me in a way to get this Vzine going on some low level. Nothing like Casey's level, of course, but we do our best with what we've got, because I'm in a small place and not doing anything very exciting. Watching Casey's filmmaking techniques definitely inspired me. And one of my new clients, Kate Cocker, introduced me to Steve Bartlett, who is a Brit, and he's 25 years old now. I started watching him when he was sort of 23, 24, and he does a daily vlog in exactly the same way. So that's all about growing his company, which is called Social Chain and based in Manchester, from nothing up to the rapidly growing behemoth it is today. And he's really cool. He's also just started a podcast which is called Diary of a CEO, and that's really an intimate look into what it really is like to be the CEO at 25 of a rapidly growing social media company. So go and check that out on iTunes, it's well worth it. And his YouTube daily vlog is called Everyday Steve. A couple of other people who inspire me. Where are the women, you might ask? It's interesting because I think I definitely resonate more with guys, whether that's just because I'm not very much of a girly girl. I do prefer listening to guys, I don't know why, but there's a couple of notable exceptions. One is Bernadette Doyle of Client Magnets. I find her incredibly inspiring, not least because she's a single mum of 2 boys, and she lives in Dublin and works in Dublin, but has a global audience. And she's just really good fun. She's really down to earth. She's got a sales background, so she's quite assertive about everything, and I love everything she does. So well done, Bernadette. The other lady I really enjoy watching and learning from is Denise Duffield-Thomas, and she, again, I think she's an Australian who came to England, and she actually used to come to our Money Gym days, which is quite amazing, and then she went off to Australia and she wrote a book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch, and she styled herself the Lucky Bitch because she won a round the world tour for herself and her husband, blogging as they went, and she was absolutely determined to do that. So really cool lady. Go and check her out at I think it's deniseduffelthomas.com and getrichlluckybitch.com. You'll find her there. New additions to the inspirational front are Dan and Lloyd from KPS Digital Marketing in Kent. I met Dan when I went to speak at Digital Marketing in Kent a couple of years ago, and he just really impressed the hell out of me. He's a real expert on social media. They're winning awards right, left and centre, and Lloyd's very, very cool too. They're making some very funny, tongue-in-cheek, British-orientated vlogs, and their content on their website is a real fantastic resource for anyone who wants to market their business better online. Got to mention Penny and Thomas Power actually. Penny's popped up onto my radar just recently again because she started a networking group called the Business Cafe, which she's got a vision to turn into a business cafe in every town. Thomas and Penny were the original founders of eAcademy, which was really the first business online and offline networking company. And I met lots of very cool people through Academy. They attract a very high quality of people to them, and Business Cafe shaping up really nicely. So well done, Penny. You get onto the ladies' inspirational list too. Where can you find people to motivate and inspire you? Well, you can find them by watching YouTube, because often they'll suggest other videos next to the ones you've just watched. You can find them by asking around. I'm in several Facebook mastermind groups, and you can ask people in there for inspiration. If you go onto iTunes and check out some of the people I've talked about, you'll be able to see people who listen to this also listen to, and find other podcasts as well. And that's, the whole sort of auto-suggestion thing really works pretty well, and you just got to take an educated guess whether you'll like it it, read the description, listen to an episode or so, and unsubscribe if you don't. YouTube, again, that, you know, if you're a visual person, I like to watch videos at certain times of the day, and I like to listen to podcasts late at night. So yeah, ask around, ask for recommendations, check out a few of the people I've mentioned, and I'm sure you'll find people to inspire and motivate you whenever you're feeling in the need of a boost. And of course, keep watching this Vzine. Subscribe! Okay, episode 51 of ownitthepodcast.com this week is feedback, the breakfast of champions. And it was really funny because we recorded this episode where I talked about some uninvited feedback I'd received and how it made me feel and what I was going to do about it. And then the following week, which will be episode 152, Judith got some very much unwanted feedback and she had a little rant about that, but that's not out yet. So do have a listen to 151 and see if you feel like I feel about feedback from various different types of people, and if you've got any way of handling that, and whether in fact you take any notice of feedback from anyone at all. And on episode 37 of the Vzine and the audio and video podcast called Clicks and Leads, I was talking about how important it is to be able to talk to your customers and how much fun I'm having answering the questions of the people who arrive at my website randomly, various pages of the website, and how you have to adjust, how you talk to people, how much level of sophistication they've got about their problems, whether they're even aware they've got a problem, whether they know what their problem is, whether they're actively seeking a solution, and whether your product or service could be part of that solution. So I've been closing quite a few deals of Clicks and Leads Academy this week just by chatting to people through the chat app. There's various live chat apps, and I go into it on last week's Vzine, which was episode 37. So go and check it out. Mozzies. How many bites did I get today? Okay, on the pony... Oh, God.